So we're going to go into the beginner's guide to building an online e-commerce business on Shopify in 2025. Let's just get straight into it. I'm just going to be linking a number of videos that from my channel. You can go check them out for very specific things. But let's just go straight into it now. Step one is choose a niche. Okay, if you're building a brand, any retail niche would work for you. Okay, you could be selling nuts and bolts. You could be selling car parts, detailing. It doesn't matter. The key is you have deep knowledge and preferably passion for it, okay? I keep harping on about it, but it does make a substantial difference. If you are dropshipping, stick to jewelry, kids, baby, outdoor adventure, garden, beauty, makeup, or household items. Sort of the best niches, the least risk, are sort of the niches that you see most dropshippers go. They don't really go, let's say, like nuts and bolts, car detailing. They don't do those things because it requires very in-depth knowledge. Let's say like with technology, it's sort of a higher risk because there's a lot more moving parts. Whereas a jewelry, as a ring, if it's a great ring, you sort of see what you get. That's why sort of dropshipping sticks to those limited niches. Choosing a niche is very important as you need to think about your branding, your logo. Different niches, you'll have a different logo. If you're making something about purifying water, you'd probably make it blue, wouldn't you? Sort of a blue color. Think of the ocean, you think pure, nice, crystal blue. All those things make a difference because that's what people perceive. And, your messaging is very important. That comes from that too. So a lot of people don't appreciate the importance of that, but it is a very important thing to be mindful of. Even your typography. Right? When you think of purifying water, you think of clean, crisp, simple, elegant, right? So you want to try and find a typography that fits that. You wouldn't want to go a very 1900s handwriting, would you? You would probably want to just go with a very simple, sort of feels like relaxing typography. When you see it, it just feels welcoming. And that makes a big difference, right? These things in a small level don't make much difference, but on the big level make a massive difference. And that's sort of, people are willing to support for it. Let's say like in beauty, the trend is that they're vegan, no harm to animals. Just go to any place that sells beauty items and you'll see things like cruelty-free. Very important that you keep that all in mind. Now, number 5 is I always recommend a niche that you have, 1, a passion about, and 2, deep knowledge, as you'll be able to translate that into quality products, quality support, and a long-term brand. Okay? I would just always recommend that. I'm not saying the other methods don't work. They definitely do. Right? I've done all of these methods and I can say they all work. But the one that I've found that I personally align to the most and why I recommend it is building a branded niche. Right? It takes a lot more work and time. But where I sit and what I like to do is I like to build sustainability. I don't like to just get sales and it die off, build another store. I find that tedious. I like to build one thing rather than 10 things. I'll build one and I'll grow it substantially larger. And number 6, I have to say, because it's on everyone's tongue, is always fashion. It's the biggest niche: fashion, clothes, shorts, swimwear, shoes, hats. Massive, right? And there's so much money to be made, infinite. But it's very important that you understand that niche very, very well. If you're selling sunglasses, you can't just sell sunglasses. Not like jewelry. Let's say it's a ring. Yes, that's still very important. But sunglasses, you just have to know a lot about it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a flimsy pair of sunglasses. And let's say you're selling women's dresses, the fit is just as important as the aesthetic because it ties into the same thing. So you really need to understand that and choose the sub niche within fashion that fits best. Are you good with men's runners? That's a huge niche, huge money maker, selling these Nike shoes and all these various top end shoes. So you need to really hone in on that. So that's why fashion, unless you know it really well, I steer clear of it. I've done fashion and I love it, and I've done it with some business partners in the past, but I don't know enough about it to do it myself, right? So I've steered clear personally of that. Right? That's just my my personal thing, but that's just being honest. You can see an old video here where I break that down a bit further. You can go check it out. By the way, the slides are down below. Number 2 is you want to vet your suppliers. There are multiple ways you can find suppliers. We all know this. In fact, there's an infinite number of ways to find suppliers. It really isn't that hard these days. They're really all trying to tap into the e-commerce growing industry. You can use online communities. I've used a lot of Facebook groups. I'm in a lot of business networking groups, and I'll ask in there and they'll actually help me find suppliers in my region. I've done that for a new brand that I'm starting to build, which is a women's beauty brand, completely custom-made products, right, where I'm getting the raw material, so it's taking a very long time. Until you get faster shipping times, okay, with suppliers in those specific regions. 2, other suppliers, depending on the niche, could be, for instance, a lot of us heard of Printful, Printify. There's other ones. I've never used a number of the other ones, so I can't say. I haven't used Printify. I've only used Printful for print on demand or drop shipping, like CJ Dropshipping, for example. If you're dropping from China, or just using AliExpress. I personally just use AliExpress because most of them are just another interface for AliExpress. So that's just my 2 cents. Another option is to create the product. As I said, the raw materials, sort of like what I'm doing, it takes a very long time. And because, like, for instance, what I plan to do is get these properly tested and verified here in Australia, which adds a lot of authenticity to it. As it should. There's a reason why there's those, right? Then people will actually buy and they'll trust you and buy again. So that's part of my plan. I want to personally say number 4, I personally recommend using local suppliers, doing local supplier drop shipping as the start. I don't recommend going from China. At least try and find suppliers in that region. Okay, you can go to road shows, trade shows. There's a number of ways you can find these suppliers, get their contact, and then you can work with them to supply a product. They'll still ship it for you. You might need to provide them a lot of the time, a lot of the time they don't have integration with Shopify, but like a manual CSV of the order information. They'll then invoice you, you then pay it, they'll ship it. Okay, and a lot of the time, a number of them too, over time will do custom branding and stuff for you too. Or you use those suppliers, buy in bulk and store it at your own warehouse. I have a bit more about that in the later part of this, but I always recommend as well that you get a few samples, go through the experience, right? Make sure the quality is good, and take your time with that. Right? It really does make a difference long term. In the short term, I guarantee you, it's not the wisest thing in terms of you spending some money. It takes a lot longer. But if you want to build an actual brand, build a business, not just one that gets sales and then dies off a month later, then these are the strategies of how you do it. Yes, okay, the other strategies work, but I prefer sustainability again over just a spike and then a death dip. You can find a video on suppliers there as well. Go check it out. And required starting tools. Naturally, you just need Shopify. I'm not going to put my referral link there. It's in the description if you want to check it out. Use the Debutify AI theme. Use our AI store builder to basically build your store, automate it for you. The reviews, you can use the review app. It's part of that subscription as well. Abandoned cart recovery, just use the Shopify ones in the start. And the settings checkout down the bottom, you can find the abandoned cart ones. By default, it's set to 10 hours. Literally leave it. That's all you need to do. You can use other email SMS tools for abandoned cart recovery as well, but in the beginning, you just want to focus on just getting started, right, and get abandoned carts before you worry too much about that. Depending on your marketing, you might want to use the Facebook, TikTok, and Google Ads sales channels. So the Facebook includes Instagram, TikTok, obviously just TikTok. Google includes YouTube if you want to do that as well. For importing reviews, local dropshipping, images, description, so basically importing reviews from other tools if you have them, or making reviews, or manually you can use the Debutify AI tools just in your login portal, use that, or you can even just use ChatGPT or Shopify have their AI tools there too, all much the same. For full branded, it's pretty much the same. Again, you just always review it, make sure it aligns to your brand specifics. Pure dropshipping, you can import from a research center and then use the AI tools in Debutify again, GPT or even like DeepSeek and that, to then optimize them as well. Long term, I would always consider a tool like Klaviyo. I'm building an email SMS app. It's what I'm passionate about. Email SMS is absolutely amazing, and I really want to contribute to that. Where you start building out granular flows, campaigns, pop-ups, really does make a difference. You'll find most of the big brands, email marketing is their biggest source of profits, because once you get that lead, you can just squeeze them time and time again, because it's not really squeezing, you're just giving value back to them. Other long-term tools, 3PL tools. So like I've used ShipBob, for example. I've used Borderless 360. I've used Australia Post. Because I'm here in Australia, that's why I've sort of used those. But there's like ShipBob's the one that's sort of global, whereas Borderless 360, I think that they're starting to be global, but there's a number out there. If you literally just Google it, it'll take you 5 minutes. I'll be making another video on 3PLs as well. You honestly don't need many tools, right? So like, loyalty line for referrals, and you don't need that many tools. So just literally just those is pretty much 90%, 95% of what you would mainly need, really. And step 4 is the marketing strategies. There are many marketing strategies you can choose. In my channel and other channels, I recommend a guy, Nick Armenis, in point 2. I use a lot of Google Shopping Performance Max campaigns. Performance Max basically just integrates with the Google Merchant Center and allows you to run shopping campaigns. It's highest conversion rates, most stable, least amount of work, lowest CPC. It's just the most logical platform. A lot of people use Facebook and TikTok because it gets more instant results. But again, instant results leads to an instant downfall, whereas something like Google and that will always be stable. You can even import, using Bing Ads, you can import your Google Ads campaigns into Bing Ads. Yes, it's not a huge platform, but literally it's another whole platform for like 10 minutes work. And I've seen a number of brands get very, very cheap cost per acquisitions from those platforms. For Facebook and ads, integrate the sales channel through Shopify, just on the Shopify App Store. It's free. Follow the steps. It just literally says connect, done. Build an Advantage Plus campaign or a manual campaign is what I recommend, with ABO per one. So ad set budget optimization. I have videos on that in my channel. You can go check it out. Applies for Instagram too, because it's just basically a placement under the ads manager. TikTok, integrate the sales channel. I have to stress the importance of SEO though, right? Long term, that is what truly SEO is both social media management as well as Google, as well as search engine optimization for Google, for Microsoft, for there's a number of them out there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but mainly Google, right? Blogs, value content, optimizing your meta titles, meta descriptions, your images, checking for bugs and errors in the Google Search Console all makes a difference. Don't rely entirely on paid ads. You will get burned, right? I love paid ads, but I don't rely on it entirely. You want to use influencer marketing. I especially use micro-influencers. I have videos on that in the channel, and there's plenty out there. Micro-influencers are extremely profitable, okay? If you stick to paid ads because it's quick and easy, you will struggle, right? There'll be a lot of competitors. Your cost per acquisition will go up. It's just going to get harder. Loyalty apps to help boost referrals. So an existing customer refers another customer. Simple as that. So for Google Ad strategy, you can check out that video. On Facebook, you can check out that. Right. So pretty much I just wanted to give that as an overview. Those are fundamentally all you really need to know to build an online e-commerce business on Shopify. Okay. There really isn't that much more to it. It's really just sort of getting the process started, getting it moving, following this guideline. Check out videos on my channel or other channels. As I said, check out Nick Armenis as well. Great guy, especially around Google Ads. Just top tip. There's also another guy here in Australia, Brendan Gillian. He's phenomenal as well. He's growing rapidly. Go check him out as well. They give a lot of tips and stuff there too. Other than that, thank you for your time. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.